Good evening. Welcome to another exquisite installment of the NaruSaku Masterpiece Podcast. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Sir James S Cassidy, and joining me are some of the finest minds the world has ever known, or at least within the forms. Join me as we discuss the literature that is Kishimoto and the adventures of Naruto. Gentlemen and milady, would you like to introduce yourselves to the viewers?
Yep. I think everybody remember me from the first podcast. It's NaruSaku for Life 3G from Heaven and Earth forums. But you can call me For Life as usual. And yeah, I'm back here again.
Indeed. And welcome back, good sir.
Thank you, sir.
Are you ready for another fine establishment of this podcast?
Indeed.
And I'm Slextrem from YouTube. If anyone knows my YouTube channel, I'm also on the Heaven and Earth website. I'm very excited to be here.
The one and only.
One and only.
Glad to have you here.
Glad to be here.
And I'm Zacrathedemon 5 from the forums, and on YouTube I go by a different name, Gara Anime 5. I don't think anyone is going to be recognizing me from that, but yeah.
That's it?
I'm going to show more enthusiasm.
Okay. Well, glad to have you all on the show.
I'm interested to see how this goes. Glad to be here. I am happy to be here, though.
Oh, I know we're going to have some fun, Zach.
Oh, we'll see, definitely.
As usual, we will start with the latest chapter, which is what, 618? Right?
Yep.
Yes.
Alright, and if you don't mind me saying, I have to say this, but I am stoked. I am absolutely stoked. There are so many possibilities where this can go. There are so many ways that this could end up, and I am extremely excited to see where this is headed. What about you?
Well, I'm for one excited. I mean, I understand people get some little kind of complain of these Ito Tensei being like way overused, but I don't know. For this one, I make a huge exception because it's the Hokages. It's like, it's all related to Konoha, where we, grew up with back in the very first chapter. So it's like, this war is all about, everybody, but it felt like if there's going to be one more arc, it's going to be all central on Konoha and Team 7 itself. So that seems like it's opened this door, and I don't know. I'm really excited, especially the fourth Hokage, Minato, coming back. That put me really in a very excited mood, and I just can't wait for the next chapter. And that's all my thought.
I guess I wasn't too excited to see the chapter go back to Sasuke, because I find him to be a very bland character, and I'm really tired of the whole Uchiha story. I think that we've been there, done that so many times now. And at such a critical point in the war with the Alliance, I'm really not wanting to see what's going on with him. So I was really disappointed when we went right back to Sasuke. But I mean, it was interesting to see who ended up being the people that he was going to meet, the ones who know all. I wasn't expecting it to be the Hokages. I also I didn't really think that Orochimaru would be able to grab them out of that whole seal thing. I forget what it's called. The Demon Belly, I don't know what the hell. Anyway.
Yeah, Demon Reaper seal, something like that.
Yeah. But, it was really exciting at the end. I mean, the chapter itself was kind of dull. But the last development where we see the four Hokages as Edo Tensei, that was really the most exciting part, as well as, I guess, the little parallel between Naruto and Sasuke standing up on top of the building overlooking Konoha. But, other than that, it was actually not too interesting of a chapter. Just, the last development was kind of like a holy crap cliffhanger, but...
Hey, look on the bright side. No Hinata.
Yeah.
Already it's a better chapter, right?
No more shoving our throats. Well, now we're being shoved by Sasuke. Yeah, hooray for us.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd call it an improvement since we're getting Sasuke now, but...
I
mean, it's a little bit better than Hinata. What
All right.
about you?
this chapter, oh boy, I'm going to be a little different here. I really did not like this chapter pretty much, well, at all, to be honest. I thought that, there's a lot more potential from this chapter that can be used as a base for this, because, Minato's back and all those people are back, and the person I'm most excited about being revived is the third Hokage, more than the fourth, just because I really kind of missed him, his presence in the part 1. But besides that, the parallel with Sasuke and Naruto was kind of neat. I'm not the biggest fan of Sasuke myself, and I've kind of expressed that on the forums in the past, but to be honest, I was hoping that it would switch to Sasuke again, just because I was really disappointed with how the big battle with Madara and Obito was going. Even though I do like Madara and Obito as villains, and their interaction kind of makes up for it, but still, I was hoping that he would switch to Sasuke and the others, because Kishimoto tends to have a habit of being better with smaller cast of characters, smaller situations, in my opinion, because the whole war, it's been kind of sloppy, whereas in comparison, when back in part 1 he was handling all these smaller cast of characters, he was focusing on them, developing them, he felt like he had a better handle on it, so I was hoping he would switch back. Not pleased with how it turned out. It actually made less sense than the big battle, and because I think that's a failure on exposition part, I really couldn't accept all of this information in one chapter, that all of this happened like that. Uzumaki Shrine at the end of the village, all this mask that suddenly controls the Reaper Death Seal, cutting open the belly, 6 Zetsu that just happened to be following Sasuke, that were just there, just in time for the Edo Tensei sacrifices. Too many conveniences for me.
Yeah, it did seem kind of like a butt pull from Kishimoto.
Yeah.
Like the whole Orochimaru's jutsu and all that, and like how he knew.
Exactly.
It's like, I know all of this stuff, so don't worry about it, guys. I got it.
I actually feel like this would have been better if it was spread out over 2 chapters. Now, yeah, that would have taken a lot more time, but I feel it feels more like a butt pull because it was all in this one chapter. It felt like he just, okay, what do I do now? Who are these 4 people going to be? Let's bring back the 4 Hokage. How can I do that? Uzumaki Shrine right here. And how can I get the Reaper open? Have a mask. Cut open the belly. That's what the jutsu will do. Cut open the belly. And how to make the sacrifices. 6 Zetsu following them. There, done.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I agree with you about the, focusing a lot of characters could really bring a huge mess. And yeah, you're right about that. Because like I said, I think we've been in this war arc for 2.5 years or so.
Oh, yeah. At least 2 years.
It's kind of like the same life how when, Bleach had that winter war, and that lasted too long. And I was by then, like, in the middle of it, I was just bored. And here, well, I did get bored at one moment, but, when Naruto got involved with the Itachi, Nagato part, I got a little interest back, but I did get bored because it's just like so many attention for different characters, even the characters that we only introduced from the last arc, which was the Kage Summit. Like, I don't know how you say that guy name, the one that's like, the one with the Raikage, like one of the right hand, and like we got his battle full flesh in the whole manga.
Totally.
I was like, yeah, him. Like I was surprised that we got to see a good full fight with him. And we don't even know him like that. So it's like we got so much attention for every single one of them. It's like, it sounds good. It sounds good to the fans, but at the same time, it's not so good unless you could try to fit 50 pages per week. But that's just too much. But other than that, yeah, like this arc lasted way too long, and now we're trying to get into I guess you could say the conclusion, but like the conclusion itself, well, not the conclusion itself, the final battle itself is like kind of drag on, probably because it's the fact that Kishi needs to have the needs to demonstrate the whole side characters getting their shiny moments, and that's all neat and all, but it just really slows down the pace. It just slows down the story, everything about it. So at the same time, when we returned to Sasuke, at first I was a little bit upset because I didn't want to see him. I would need to see the conclusion of this battle. But at the same time, I thought, it's a good idea because, like, we're just so focused on that battle and, it's so slow paced. Might as well just get something, exposition, stories going on with Sasuke and his fighting the one who knows everything, whatever, stuff like that. So I'm okay for now, but I'm just hoping whatever the conclusion to the battle will be satisfying. I just don't want to be some way too drag on or too cluster,
Yeah,
Really
I see
quick-
what you're saying. Although I have to say, and this is my personal opinion, while the chapter itself felt rushed and there were many convenience, I rather prefer to have a plot force. I don't know if I'm going to explain this right, but like a convenient plot than a butchering of the characters as was like in 615. I guess this is why I'm not so pissed off or upset about this chapter. Simply because it didn't really go against any of the characters or their character base, unlike 615, where you had like every single character just butchered. You had Naruto, who just went against everything he stood for just to give Hinata this moment to shine and glory, and it was the one thing that bothered me more than anything else, and it will always bother me. And compared to that, this was decent. This was actually okay. This actually sets up for something great coming down the road, possibly.
Yeah, I agree. We have something to look forward to now. To me, I don't know. It's just the chapter itself was really dull, I guess. Maybe because I don't like Sasuke, or maybe just because I felt it was a kind of butt pull. Like, just how Orochimaru had this whole elaborate plan of his, and everything, like the others have said, was so convenient for him. But I don't know, it just seemed really dull to me. But I'm excited to see what's going to happen following this chapter, because I really have no idea what he's going to do. It's really hard to predict where he's going to take this now, because there's so many things he could do. Like, is he going to have the Hokages fight with him? Are we going to get some kind of flashback? Are they just going to have a discussion, and then are they going to go away, or what? Like, we don't know. Some people have thought maybe Naruto's going to fight Minato, and that would be cool too, but, there's no way of knowing with Kishimoto. He always does the thing that no one ever expects him to do, so...
For better or worse.
Right. I mean, what I want to see is, you remember how Minato sealed half of the Nine Tails in himself? I mean, I know some people are going to go against me by saying that, oh, how can this be? But I don't know. I still want to see that other half reemerge and have Naruto fuse with that other half, becoming complete with Kurama, and maybe we could see something really interesting happen because of it.
That seems likely at some point. I just don't know how they're going to execute it, or at least how he's going to bring it up. But it seems possible. I can't say it's not impossible. So I guess we just have to wait.
Speaking of the comparison you made earlier with 615, you did make a good point. I didn't think about that, how the characters were butchered in 615 and in this not so much. That being said, I think this made less sense than 615 in terms of, I don't know. Reading 615, I didn't get too, I kind of felt the lack of involvement, I guess, maybe. But in this one, it just screamed at me almost every single page I was going by. It was really bothering me, whereas 615, it was just that moment, and it was this... It's just... This chapter just really got under me, whereas 615 didn't, surprisingly.
That was Zacrathedemon. If you want to send your hate mail, send it to him. not to my mailbox. That's all him.
You be hearing me first. No, but all seriously, about 615, I remember reading the first time. Well, actually, I remember seeing a spoiler thread first and seeing like that panel with the very last panel. I was a little bit confused because I was just playing the game and I just look at that panel like, wait, Am I seeing this right? Because it feels like, a very forced development. But, when you get to read the chapter, it's a whole different story. But it's still forced in some way. The problem is that, from 614, when I see Naruto's face, it felt like he was more of angry and about to like, all right, I'm going to prove you wrong, Obito. But when you follow up 615, all of a sudden he's all confused and, like all depressed. I didn't think that would be this next reaction, because when you look at 614 last panel of Naruto, he looks more angry, like because he had his friend dead. But the follow up is like, whoa, now I'm depressed. It's like he got a mood swing. I don't get it. So yeah, I feel that Kishi doesn't have the idea what to do with Hinata and this far. So he's like, either I power up, but I don't think I can power up any further, especially for Hyuga. I mean, the closest I can get is probably that not the face palm, that air palm thing. But I don't think he could do any further than that. So I was like, so it felt like he has no choice. It probably had to butcher a lot of people in order to Hinata get something out of it. So, and it's like the same thing. It's like the same repeat of the way back in part 1 with that whole proud failure. It's cool to be one because you could still, because even though you fail, you could always get back up, stuff like that. It's like a repeat of that, but like more to the little bit more serious notice. There are people getting killed, and yeah, that's pretty much what it is. It's like a 2.0 version of that, pretty much. But yeah.
Yeah, I think the problem most people had with 615 was it was like a repeat of the whole pain arc lesson that he learned, I didn't like it because, well, for one, I'm not a Hinata fan. I never really have been. Number 2, I really didn't like that he had to regress Naruto in order to give her development, and he had to shove Sakura in the background to give her development. And he also had to kill Neji to give her development. So it just really bothers me that everyone around her has to get pulled back in order for her to get some spotlight or to make her look like she's stronger than she is, because she's a pretty weak character. She hasn't had very much development at all in the series. And so for her to be able to do anything to stand equally with Naruto, you have to pull everyone else back. And it bothers me because she's a side character and she has no relevance to the plot. No matter what her fans say, she has no relevance to the plot. And I know people are going to get mad at me, but it's true. She's got nothing to do with saving Sasuke. She has nothing to do with Team 7. She's just not important. She's a side character. She's like Kiba and the rest of them.
Yeah, but, you can't raise her bar. You just lower everyone else's so it's on equal footing. It's like...
Yeah, I think that's the real problem. It's like you gotta lower everyone else in order to make one higher or stuff like that.
Yeah, but like the purpose of it it's beyond me because like I said, she's just a side character. So why does she need the development? I understand wanting to give her complete development, but there are other characters too that need to have development. Like, what about 1010 maybe, who hasn't, we don't even know her last name. Good point.
Who's 1010?
When was the last? Did she ever get a development? I think she's just there for the fact that to fill in the team. I don't know. That could be the reason. I mean,
doing math now. 10 plus 10 is 20.
I mean, at least they're making more use in the SDs, but I don't know about the real manga. I don't know about that. And she doesn't seem like she doesn't talk much. She doesn't do much. Actually, I don't even think she got any character development at all. Somebody got to correct me, please.
No, I don't think she has either. She just kind of plays the standoff role where she gives her 2 cents every now and then fades off.
She's not even eye candy. She's not even there for eye candy. Come on, give her something.
And at one point, Kishi actually said Tensei was her favorite. Was her favorite Kanochi. Who'd have guessed?
Wow, that's surprising.
I don't understand that
either.
either.
I don't know. 615. It's just I was expecting more Hyuga development, not just Hinata development. Oh. And I guess I wanted more Team 8 Team Guy development too. I was really hoping to see a moment between them in 615 rather than just Hinata. And then, she doesn't even she ends her moment thinking about Naruto's big hand rather than, I'm going to fight for Neji. So it's like,
went to waste.
Yeah, it just went all down the drain.
I think you said it best when you, Slextrem, I think you said it best when you said 2 steps forward, 20 steps back.
Yeah.
Exactly that. I don't think he should try to develop anyone that Hinata and Tenten, for example. Tenten, sure, go ahead and try to develop her if you need to, but at this point, we really need to be involved with what's happening. And for that to happen, I think he should focus on those who are most developed, who we've gotten to know most. Not degrade everyone else for a side character who is Hinata. And although there are a lot of fans that are involved with her, that care about her, that's fans influencing the story.
Mm-hmm.
And that isn't a good thing. He should focus... That's actually partially why I was so frustrated when Neji died. Not to mention why he was one of my favorite characters, none of that, but he died for such a reason to give her that sliver of development and then flush it down the drain anyways.
Yeah, it really...
saying that.
And along with that, Neji he was one of the people in the Sasuke retrieval arc, and I'm a big fan of the group in the Sasuke retrieval arc. I think they should have gotten more focus in Shippuden as a whole, and Neji shouldn't... People needed to die in the war, that's unavoidable. I think he filled that role well enough temporarily for now with Shikaku, Inoichi, Ao, and all those. He didn't need to kill Neji.
You know what I think? I think Kishi probably find Neji like the best way to try to connect to a lot of people, except for Team 10, is because, if I want to have a shiny moment, I would try to have one character that could relate two teams, at least two teams. So for Neji, it relates to Hinata, it relates to Team Guy. So it's like a branch. It's like, that's why I feel that Kishi decided to use Neji, not only to make a full circle of development for him, but also try to connect to two teams. One for Hinata and then one for either Rock Lee, Guy, or Tenten, or all of them at one. But obviously Rock Lee got the most attention, or actually the only attention out of the Team Guy team in terms of development.
Yeah, I think. I'm sorry.
It's alright.
It was there and then poof, gone. But I think that Neji's development was kind of actually, some of it was washed away with how he died. Part of his thing was get out of the branch, he needs to stop focusing on this fate thing, and yet he died exactly how his father died, defending the main branch. I think that actually flushed down some of that development of his, and almost, in a way, proved him wrong, because he ended up exactly like his father did, dying to protect someone to feel free in that sense.
In some way, you kind of give it away, if he is planning, you kind of give it away the fact that Obito will revive him, because the way you're saying it made it sound like, why you do the repeat? You should have surpassed that. So I feel like a revival would be, hey, you passed it, because not only protected, but you came back to life. Congratulations. That's the sense I get now. Now that you bring it up, I do feel like Neji might come back after all.
I would hope so, but at the same time, I would hope not.
It's
another revival.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the problem. I think there was a thread in the forum talking about, will Naruto kill Obito? Mm-hmm. I was going to respond to that, but I'm responding here. I feel that the whole situation of revival and revenge should never happen at the Pain arc. It could have been something differently with the Pain arc, and that revenge thing could have happened at the Obito part, just to make it more understandable and more exciting for a lot of people, because people are a little afraid that it might repeat the Pain arc again, and everybody would be a little bit frustrated with that kind of conclusion. And that would be it's kind of like if you see first few arcs of One Piece, you get the idea that, well, not really a lot of people die, or they really gonna escape that death, you know. It's stuff like that. It's like over time you would know what's coming. You would know, that guy is not dead forever or stuff like that.
I think it's an interesting point that Zach brought up about the Sasuke retrieval arc, because if anyone remembers, Kishimoto said in one interview that the original plan was to have Neji die back then, along with I think it was Kiba. Did he say too?
Kiba was gonna die? Huh. I didn't hear about
Interesting.
Well,
I just remember that. I remember reading that in an interview that he said that the original plan was including having Hinata, just this village girl, but more importantly was that Neji and Akiba were supposed to die back then during the Sasuke retrieval arc. And I've been thinking about that this time, saying, then how would that alter how we view him now? And would it be an even worse death, or would it be a better death than he has now?
I think it would be a better death just because at that point it was flowing more well. Whereas this time we've had all this time to adjust to the idea of Sasuke Retrieval Arc just standing in the background. Nothing's going to happen to them because they don't get any focus. Back then, you felt the genuine tension of Neji might die here, Kiba might die here because it was getting so much focus. Whereas here, in the chapter Neji was introduced, Kishimoto practically forgot to draw him in the last few chapters. He just popped up out of nowhere. It's like starts kicking ass. Naruto looks at him and goes, "Hey, he's awesome." And then in the same chapter, he's reintroduced. He dies. There was no situation there.
I agree. It was really rushed. I don't even think he got. He didn't get a panel in 573 either, or anything like that. So you're right. It was really rushed. That's one thing I didn't like about his death. But I don't know. I didn't mind how it was executed. Like how he died protecting Hinata, because it's him fulfilling his duty as the branch member. And he was so against the branch and the main clan, like back in part 1, and then we see him come around full circle with how he ended up dying. In what chapter did he die? 611? No.
He died
614. 614.
614,
yeah. So I don't know. I didn't mind how his death happened, like dying to protect Hinata. I thought that was really noble. But yeah, at the same time, I kind of wish that there was more build up to it. Like, I get what you're saying, the whole not having any build up towards it and it happening just right off the bat. It just felt really out of place in that sense. But I don't know, if you just look at it from how he died, I felt like it was really well written. I don't know, I thought it was a kind of a touching moment, but I didn't like how following it up, we get 615.
I guess,
and you guys know how I feel about 615. I did not like 615.
I guess maybe that scene that we've seen in 615 should have been in 616, because I try and make 615 a little bit more sad, more depressed, and stuff like that. Make Hinata rethink about the whole thing, stuff like that. Instead of hey, let me jump to the conclusion. Say hey, you're warm, your hand is warm. It just seems very quick for her part, at least. Okay, I know we're gonna keep dying, but at least I got to hold your hand, and it's soft and warm and nice and stuff like that. That's that's
While
the
Neji's
problem.
lying at her feet, dead.
Yeah,
blood pooling around him.
Death for breakfast, sex for lunch.
Wow.
It's like if Neji was a ghost, he'd probably be all crying in the background. It's like, what about me? I'm dead. You should be more remorse.
I died for this.
I died for this. It's kind of like in that one video game, the one bad guy get killed off, and then when you finish the chapter of the game, the bad guy returns and tells the narrator, it's like, wait, I'm dead already? This is all I get? This is lame. And they just disappear forever. Because they didn't give remorse, because he had a background story, but they didn't give any care at all. So I was like, oh. That's how I feel Neji's getting. Doesn't get that much, I don't know. I mean, at least Rock Lee gave him the attention that he deserved, in my opinion, at least.
Okay, I did not like, what was it, 616, I think?
Yeah.
I just felt like I felt like Lee made his death into a joke, and it's not Lee's fault, but it's just he's the only one who ends up crying, and he just looks so funny when he cries, right? So I actually laughed when he's holding Neji and bawling because he just looks so stupid. And
that
then,
face.
yeah, it's his face. It's his face.
Damn
and
eyebrows.
It made me so upset because it's like, wow, Neji's death is now a joke. This is perfect. I mean, the following chapter was great. How he fought with Naruto, you know, for Neji's sake. But like before that, it was it was just facepalm worthy. And then
I understand.
Yeah, and the rest of his team not doing anything. Like Tenten's worried about Lee crying, and Guy really doesn't have much to say about it at all, which I thought he would be upset too.
Well, I understand that part, to be honest, because he is a grown guy. He probably already I get the idea. And they're in war. You should not be like take 5 minutes of crying. You should just like, all right, you're gonna fight for that person that you lost. Then that's why I see Guy. Tenten, yeah, that one is a bit strange to me, to be honest. I mean, yeah, she's the oldest out of the team, I think. Somebody got to correct me. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I understand she's the oldest of the team, but it just seems kind of strange the fact that Tenten didn't show any, emotions. I don't know. Maybe.
No, I'm sorry, finish. Go ahead.
Oh, one last thing to say. It was something about 6:15. No, 6:40. It's about 6:16 again. I mean, yeah, the Rock Lee does have that face. I guess it's kind of like sometimes. I guess it's kind of like at certain moments in the manga One Piece. Like, I understand they're crying, but some of the guys' characters like overdose of cries. If you ever read it or if you ever read a manga or watch the anime, their face is like really, really kind of like a little bit over the top in terms of crying. Some of them, sometimes not. But yeah, it all depends on the facial expression they have. Like if it was like a well done facial expression, if it was like Naruto doing it, the same way how he does it with when he met Kushina for the first time, then I would feel very emotional. But if you say like if you get that face where Naruto get that face. I forgot that one of the beast tails. I remember I think it was the 3-tail one, like the Jinchurukin guy. I remember like he he was crying because he was so young he couldn't get no girlfriend at this time. It's like that. If you remember that crying panel, if it has like that with Neji, yeah, that is a joke and that's just terrible. But other than that, but I guess I can't say it's Rock Lee's fault, but oh well, it's just. That's the only way you can make it cry.
Yeah, I'm not really like blaming Rock Lee's character. Just like I wish that it felt more sentimental, rather than like, oh, Neji's dead and Hinata cries for 5 minutes and Naruto's upset, but then he gets slapped and his team doesn't show any reaction really. I felt like Sakura had a stronger reaction to it in her panel than his team did in 6:15 when they found out that Neji died. And then, when we finally do get the team crying, it's only Lee doing it, and he just looks so comical that it's like, oh, okay.
I think if Ten were to cry, I think it would be like a good half comical and then real emotional. I mean, she has a normal expression face, so at least she could balance it out. Rock Lee, I don't know. Every time I see him cry, I always picture like that, those Guy Sensei and Rock Lee moment. Those moments, kind of like you see in SD shows or manga every time like they hug it out like Guy Sensei. That's the expression I get when you see Neji dead. I don't know.
For Lee, there's a few things that did bother me about it. His expression was one. When you think about it, Kishimoto can do really great subtlety, and at the same time, really terrible subtlety. Look at Obito's flashback chapter. That was brilliant how that was done. No dialogue whatsoever, just pictures. You got the full idea of what was happening, and that was very subtly done, and near perfect chapter in my opinion, besides, the obvious inconsistencies with the past and how that treated and the timeline, etc., etc. But besides that, look at this. His expression is really obvious, and I feel like Kishimoto was just, oh, I need something funny in this chapter, let's do this. But it also needs to be emotional. It didn't work out that way, I don't think. Because compare Lee's crying to Shikamaru's reaction to his dad dying, or Ino's reaction to her dad dying, or even Lee himself crying in part 1, during that flashback where it's showing him he was still in the academy, he was very emotional. You didn't see those Guy Sensei tears when he was doing that, when he was crying, when he was depressed. You saw real, genuine sadness, not comical sadness. That could have even worked here better, but it didn't, and he didn't. And along with that, Lee's reaction time. Everyone's reaction time to this death was pushed back a chapter because of Hinata, having to get that, and Lee, in particular, was harmed because of it. I couldn't take his reaction seriously in 616 because it was so mistimed. It felt like, oh, this should have happened then. He should have expressed sadness then, not now, immediately. And you're right, all the other people's expressions were bland. There was kind of like, oh, he's dead now. Darn. Even Hiyashi himself, I would expect more from him because he really connected with Neji, from what I remember, after the Chunin exam thing, but no. Nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I think? I think, I always try to picture myself as a mangaka, but I always feel like since you got like 17 pages and for some reason you gotta fit like into one volume, I feel like he has to no choice, but at times he has to either rush it or either time he has to drag it. So I guess he chose to rush it. Maybe because the fact that they're side characters, I don't think he really gives a huge work effort on it, because like, I don't know, maybe that's just me, but I just feel like he just really want to get over with the side character and then get back to main character focus, which we're going back to Sasuke, and I could imagine that he could drag this on for a while, even if it's like, oh, I get one answer and that'll be it, but he probably gonna have like 5 chapters just to get one answer out of it or something like that. In terms of facial, yeah, that's true too, what you said about that, and I agree. I do feel like he probably give more times on that with like more of a character that's very I don't know, like who's like relevant to the whole overall plot. Like, just imagine if Kishi rushed the part where Sai told Sakura that Naruto really loves you. Just imagine if he rushed that scene. I don't think we could get the same effect or get the right idea. But he took the time to keep building it up, and then you have one big panel of her in a very teary emotion. Because when you draw it perfectly, and if you build it up, you know how much effect does the character get from that answer or from that statement or whatever. So stuff like that. But like you said, where you see Rock Lee crying for Neji, it's just like, oh no, we lost another guy. It's like that kind of expression, and that's the downside.
It's all Hinata's fault. That's right. We blame Hinata. That's right. Mothers against Hinata. Don't let Hinata into your home. She will ruin everything.
Honestly, Kurama saved that chapter. It's like he popped out of nowhere. He's like, whoa, you're not letting Hinata get all the credit. I'm here too. Like, I bet you want to say that, but instead you say, hey, I'm still here.
Hinata. Everything
about
seems to have
the whole,
gone wrong since Hinata came along. Anyway, go ahead.
The whole when he draws the chapters out or then when he rushes them, I think the problem is like when he's choosing to rush and when he's choosing to draw it out. Like Zach said, he's capable of making it really powerful. Like the example, Obito's flashbacks, that was the most powerful little chunk of chapters that I've read in a long time. And I'd taken a really long break from the series and I came back in time for that, and that's what drew me back into the series. And then it just got really disappointing as soon as the Alliance arrived. It just went like downhill, and it felt like he was, he rushed through Neji's death, and then he went really slowly, like, with the reactions of the characters, like Zach said, because he wanted to give Hinata this development, so then he's going really slow. And then he rushes through their reactions, and so it's frustrating to see that because, I don't know, I guess we all feel like he could have done it in a better way, because we've seen him do other chapters where they've turned out a lot better than what's been going on in this arc. So, yeah, I don't know. It's just... Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
It almost feels like there's different people writing Naruto. I mean, I know there's editors and whatnot, but it feels like that the intent is different because there's one half of Kishimoto that can make really, really good chapters and really good situations and stories, and then there's this other half that does all of this, and it's just very inconsistent and pretty bothers.
Well, I think he should just really try to get out of the way with the side characters. I mean, yeah, he tried to sound all happy about like, hey, I'm gonna have every character to shine. I'm not sure how the interview goes, like, what kind of expression he has when he said that line. But I feel like he really want to focus on just the main guys. When you think about the first few arcs of the part 2, it felt like that was where it was going. Just the main focus is Team 7. You could have like a bonus where like one team from the past, but other than that, it won't get that much of relevant to the plot. But since we're in a war, and I guess I remember seeing by the Immortal arc, I guess I was seeing a lot of people like, where's all the other characters doing their moments, like shooting the exam. My thoughts is like, well, that's like a one-time deal. You can't keep bringing all 12 of them back, or 11 at this case, back every arc, because it would just drag on, and it would be like, it would be a mess. And I do agree with you what you said earlier about like, it's best when you focus on one team or focus on, just smaller group. And I missed that. I really did miss that. I guess that's why when the anime did that special anniversary filler thingy, special arc, I guess I felt refreshed because I felt like it was the old days where you just focus on one guy, one team, not like get too many shiny moments to everybody in the entire world, literally. So
yeah, I want to bring up something that Twilight Link said in one of his reviews, and it's that Kishimoto has put too much focus on the side characters and he's made them too likable. So now they've gone from being more than just side characters because so many people have fallen in love with them and he's given them so much attention, and some of them have gotten really deep backstories and everything, so the viewers, they get really attached to these characters. Hinata's a perfect example. And so suddenly they're not side characters anymore. And, as he gives them more and more attention, people think, oh, well, they're part of the main cast now, but they're not. And they weren't originally ever part of the main cast. It was supposed to be about Team 7 and stuff. So, with more attention he gives to all these side characters and all these extra characters he's included into the story, the more he drifts away from the main group of characters, which is supposed to be Sakura, Naruto, and Kakashi, and Sasuke. And so now people, I don't know, they just feel like, we have to have more Hinata, we have to have more Kiba, we have to have more Shikamaru. But it's like, no, we don't. Really,
I don't
like
Shikamaru. I don't like Shikamaru.
I like the characters, but it's like, they don't all have to shine. They don't all have to get so much attention. I like the idea that he wanted to give them all like a finale kind of thing where they all get to stand out. But my problem with it has been that he hasn't done that. I mean, he's let Hinata stand out. He's let Neji stand out. He's let Shikamaru and Ino stand out a little bit, but like, and Lee too, but like, that's about it. The rest of them haven't really had anything. And I was thinking more like they would get like just a moment where, they're in the fight and they do something significant. But I wasn't thinking it was going to be as deep as it's gotten, if that makes any sense.
I understand that. I think it could go two ways, but it felt like it might go to the second option at the moment. like what he said about the shiny moment is either everybody in every members in the team or just one or two in the team each, like because that's the vibe I got. Like, Neji gets his own in order to branch out for two teams to get their development. Then we go to team 8. Who's the focus? Hinata, of course. Then the next chapter, who we get the focus? Team 10. But really, who had the most focus? It was Ino and Shikamaru. So that's two members of Team 10. Next chapter, now we shift focus to Team Guy. And who get the most attention? Rock Lee. Neji's dead. 10-10, who? And, well, Guy did a lot of stuff in pre-Obito mask reveal. And so, that's the exception. So, he got his shiny moment. And then conveniently, we happen to shift to Sasuke. I'm assuming that means that I'm not saying the shiny moment ends, but I think, one chapter that focuses entirely on one team, one member of the team is done. I feel like the shiny moments you're probably going to see, like, when it's about to end the battle. But, like, I feel like when we go back to the battle, I think we're going to get to the real deal. Since now they're separated from the beast, I feel like the real boss battle, that shonen boss battle style is about to begin. I'm not sure is either Obito first or Madara first, or we get at the same time. I doubt that though. But I got my bets on that we're going to focus mainly on Obito because it felt like it's very Obito centric in this entire arc so far, especially at the moment, like how Naruto and Obito ideas is like going against each other. So I feel like they should fight each other first. But let's see what happens. Right now we got the Sasuke thing. I guess we just have to, cool down and just enjoy what we're gonna get from Sasuke.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I don't want to see Sasuke. I know.
Yeah, I don't really like Sasuke, but like, I don't know. Like going back to the whole side character thing, I guess I would enjoy this all so much more if all of them had been treated equally.
Yeah.
If they were shining equally, but they're not, and that's the problem that I have with it. That's why I'm not enjoying this arc at all. Hinata got all this attention, and like, where's everyone else?
Focus on them one at a time when he shouldn't be.
Mm-hmm. They should. I would love it if they would like do group attacks, combo attacks, or something where they're shining while fighting or something, but not like making it so deep where it's like, oh, Hinata's shining because she slapped Naruto in the face. Like, I don't know.
Oh, she's abusive, right? Oh my god, she's so abusive. That relationship will never work out.
Never, ever.
And look at how he purposely, again, he didn't draw Neji into the panels. He didn't draw Sakura into the panels. It's like, oh, I'm thinking, I didn't draw Sakura because she's going to shine soon. Can't do that, man. That's not a good idea. You can't just undraw people just because they're going to get their screen time. It doesn't work like that.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of conveniently, but go on.
Yeah, and I feel like Kishimoto kind of dug himself into a hole with Hinata unintentionally. I feel bad for him having to actually deal with that because you say he gives too much attention to side characters, but he didn't give much attention to Hinata. He gave her like a little bit in the Chunin exams, but not nearly the same amount as other side characters. Yet, that's the one inconsistency. She gets so much love in comparison to the other ones that it's kind of baffling, and I can picture him tearing out his hair like, what do? I have to incorporate her now, even though he doesn't, but I can understand kind of that dilemma he goes through because it's baffling.
That's why that's what I mean about like I should revisit Chunin exam, but a little bit more up to date. That's why I feel like that's what that he did that for chapter 615. Just, redo it again because I have no idea what to do. I can't give her a special power up because the Hyuga is basically at its limit in some ways. That's what it feels like. They look like they're maxed out.
I don't know. I felt like her development should have ended, like you said, at the pain arc. Like her confession just felt like the perfect time. Okay, let's close it off now. She got to confess her love to Naruto. She shouldn't have any more regrets. This is perfect. Let's just cut her off now, you know,
But nope.
and treat her like the rest of the side characters.
Yeah.
No, can't do that.
Yep.
Well, let's hope when we go back to the battle, things will get much better, because mainly the focus from the past was basically all the side characters to get their moments, get Naruto doing his usual speech and all that stuff. Now we're going to have that as again a boss battle. I'm assuming we should the real fun begins, but I'm only hoping. And I hope he doesn't disappoint. And yes, we could have Sai. I mean, I still enjoy watching Sai do stuff with that painting. And then Sakura, my God, please have her do something. I mean, yes. I mean, I understand medic equal useful, but for old time's sake, sorcery arc, please, let's see that not one more time, again. That's correct. I want to see that again. And hopefully she gets some development out of Tsunade, but that could hold on right now. Have her do one momentum so everybody could finally say, oh, okay, she is a real heroine. Cool. And that'll be it.
Right, interesting discussion for everybody. Well, we're gonna take a 5-minute break here, so we all can go to the bathroom as usual and get something to drink, but we'll be back.
Hi, I'm Slextrem of the NaruSaku Fan Club podcast. Tune in every Saturday to the podcast for your updated events on the manga and fan discussions. If you'd like to join the show, please leave your name and Skype information to narusakufc@yahoo.com or subscribe to the Heaven and Earth NaruSaku fan site.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. Well, we were in the discussion about how the last chapter is and how Kishimi's writing style is, but there is one question, one topic that I really want to bring up. It's been a topic that has been on my mind a lot lately, and that is, do we, the fans, expect too much out of this manga? Now, before anybody replies or sends me hate mail or anything like that, or tries to, disagree with me, I'm gonna just establish a line here. I understand that Kishimoto does have problems with some writing aspects, and there are fewer mistakes that he has done himself, and I will gladly put the blame on him. However, I do sometimes feel that the fans are possibly asking too much. Maybe they want something really big to happen, and when it doesn't happen, oh, I'm giving up the manga forever. No, you shouldn't really look at the manga that way. And even if you don't get what you want, remember, it's not really your manga. If you want to write the story the way you did, that's fine, that's great, but I think there are some fans that ask a little bit too much of Kishimoto, and Kishimoto's trying to do the best he can to give everybody something that they can look forward to, and something that everybody could say, hey, I like this, I don't like this, but what do you guys feel about that?
Yeah, I pretty much agree with you. I think fans definitely expect a lot out of Kishimoto, and the problem is we all expect different things from him too. So like, one person could be wanting one thing, the other will want like the complete opposite to happen. So like, you're never going to be able to please everybody, and that's what happens when you're a writer. But like, I think it's important to not let the fans influence the writing. I'd prefer it if Kishimoto just did his own thing. Wrote it how he wanted to, and like, if other people don't like it, too bad, you could take a break from it if you don't like something that's happened in the manga. I took a 4-month break from the manga, after, what chapter was that? The whole Sakura, thinking about Sasuke thing.
Yeah.
I took a long break after that because I did not want that for her at all. But, because with my expectations, I expected her to start falling for Naruto at that point. So, yeah, I was upset. So I took a break. But, I wasn't angry at Kishi over it. I just, move along. That's all you gotta do. But,
well,
yeah. Go on.
Sorry. Well, I agree with you saying, James. I guess I can say that. I agree with you said because, like, when you go internet forums, message board, whatever you want to call it, there's a lot of people want to demand so many things for one guy, and it's hard. You can't really please everyone, no matter what. I mean, like I said, I think around Mortal arc or even the Search for Sitachi arc, a lot of people was like, "Hey, I want to see more side characters. I want to see more Neji. I want to see more Shikamaru again somehow. And I want to see Choji with that butterfly mode, stuff like that." And you just can't really please everyone, and you can't really ask too much from him too, because it is a manga with like 17 pages, weekly basis. It's not easy, and when you focus too much on one guy, it will get boring, especially if that person happens to have no relevance to the story. So hence the war arc, Well, like I mean, yeah, most of them. Well, not most. Some has some, cool moments and relevant to the plot, but like same time, it's like you give a volume worth of fight, and then you get one result out of it. Like, oh yeah, I feel bad because we fight Ito Tensei people, and they're our friends. That's my moral. It's like, well, we wasted 10 chapters for that. You could get straight to the point that like in 3 or 4 chapters, like you could feel that okay, I don't like this battle because I'm finding my own friends, stuff like that. There's the Asuma and Team 10 moments were shorter than a lot of other fights, and at least that one gets to the point. That whole Choji didn't want to fight him because he felt bad because he has to fight his old master, and he respect that and stuff like that. At least that gets to the point. Other ones is like, well, I don't know who's these two twin brothers who happened to be in QB mouth at one point and got their chakra somehow, stuff like that. It just drags on, and yeah. But like, again, I guess Kishi tried to please everyone in this war arc. I mean, like, okay, kudos, but it's just dragged on too long, and I just want to get over with. And right now, like when Obito versus Naruto was starting, but not really one-on-one, but like the whole conflict when it started, I was really into it again because it was like final phase of this arc, and now we're back to Sasuke again, which I don't mind because we're gonna get some story out of it. At least I'm hoping we get out of it. But before that, we had the whole other teams must shine before the main event happened, and again it dragged on again. But I didn't mind the Obito flashback at all. I enjoyed that too. But yeah, you can't please everyone. Nobody's gonna be nobody. Not nobody. Not everyone in the world is gonna be like, oh, that's the best thing he ever done. Everybody's gonna have a different opinion, different demands, different whatever. So yeah, you just have to work from your mind, and that's what it counts.
Well, yeah, for this, I actually felt like everything before and leading up, well, not everything, obviously, but everything after the Obito flashback, after his backstory was explained, it felt like that's when things started going really downhill for me. I understood Naruto had problems before that, I understood Kishi was an inconsistent writer, but then it really started to hit me after that happened. And then these other things started happening. The fight started getting less involving than it already was. And then 615 and all that. And it just really started hitting me that I shouldn't be expecting too much out of this. I was expecting too much. And now my expectations are so low that I just don't really care anymore. Now, I have a lack of concern with what's happening in that terms of expectations, but in other terms of expectations of what I actually expect in the story to happen, you would expect Sakura to get more screen time because, I don't even need to say why she's the heroine, but small things like that, and you also expect more not as rushed chapters as this chapter was. And it's a different blend of expectations where I care, but I don't care, and it's very strange.
You okay, Zach?
Yeah.
I think
okay, because you sound a bit nervous. For life, we'll get to you. Let's Slextrem say something first, and then we'll get back to you, whatever your point is. So try to remember that. But I just want to make sure, Zach, you okay? Because you sound a bit nervous. It's okay. It's only millions of people are going to listen to this, so don't be nervous.
I'm fine. Don't worry about it. Just
Well, I think the problem is like when it's something like not into your game, you're not interested, no expectation whatsoever. But when it gets like let's say, I don't know, 623, let's say Sakura finally gets in a real battle, then you probably be like, okay, now I'm really interested because she's in a battle. She'll probably do something cool and stuff like that. You're so invested to it because she's involved or whatever, something that you wish to happen come true. And then the next chapter, it could be like, oh, she's just there to give Naruto some pills, I don't know, whatever, and then she leaves. Then all your expectation dies out. You'll be incredibly disappointed, stuff like that. It's all about investing. Like I said, like I wasn't really into it. I mean, I was into it like probably like the first few battles, especially with the Kakashi versus Zabuza and Haku. It's like a memory trip lane. That was nice, nostalgic factor or whatever. And then when we, I think around day one, near end of day one of war, it was like, slowing down, like, okay, cool, and stuff like that. And then the Itachi versus Kabuto happened, And then when we finally get to Naruto fighting, the mastermind Tobi, who happens to be Obito, I finally got more interested because, stuff like this is finally in the final phase. And then to make more interesting is Obito being revealed now. And then we just saw the flashback, which happened to be the exact same story. Well, not the exact, but parallel to the story of Team 7 in a nutshell. And so I really, really want to see why he turned bad, what happened, what made him turn bad, stuff like that. After learning that, now I want to see Obito versus Naruto fight, and then it slowed down again. And then all my investment just cooled down, and I'm just like reading as it goes. And I'm like waiting to that one striking moment to get me very excited.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it goes. Like, your interests will spike depending on what's going on in the series. But, I don't know. A really good example of fans having, like, too high of expectations, I guess, would be the whole Obito thing, where people were making all these, like, really complex theories about it. And, people are fighting over whether it's going to be Obito or whether it's going to be Madara or someone else or whatever. And we find out it's Obito, and I heard a lot of people quit the series just because of that. But it's like, it wasn't bad. I really liked the whole Obito thing. Like, his flashbacks, in my opinion, was the best part of part 2. It's the most powerful part of the manga, for sure.
I agree as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's funny, though.
Oh, what?
No, you can go, actually.
No, you go ahead.
It's my podcast. I say who goes. No, I'm just kidding. But I do think Slextrem has a good idea about this, because one of my favorite parts was the pain arc, and I haven't really felt that much excitement until the Obito thing happened and all his flashbacks. So I kind of felt that rush again, the same thing from the pain arc when Naruto showed up. He's all like, "Oh, I'm Superman. I'm here to save the day. I know when I'm needed." And then you got Obito. You see Obito's life and how he goes towards this path of darkness, or like a Darth Vader kind of thing. And then you see, and it's great. You get that emotional impact, and you could feel it. I can feel it. I can feel Obito. This is why I feel so sorry for him and not hate him or think that, not that he needs to be forgiven for what he has done, but the fact that I feel sorry for him that he has gone through all this, and then he's continuing to be influenced by this dark influence, which is Madara.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, right. One thing I'll comment is that I thought I always saw Tobi being Obito for the past, I don't know how long, but basically first introduction, because obviously we got Kakashi Gaiden before part 2 started, so it's like, why do that right between it? Even though it's a nice check on that on Kakashi Gaiden, but obviously there's going to be a point to it, and now we do, and now we're seeing that point. Obviously, the whole a best friend died, but now he's back as my worst enemy, stuff like that. Yeah, I thought it should have been obvious. Yeah, it did throw a lot of people off when he said I'm Madara, but why keep the mask? Why keep the mask then?
Yeah. For some people it was obvious. Other people, like, they had their own theories about it and they got really attached to the theories, I guess. But, like, I don't know, it's kind of sad when you think that some people couldn't enjoy the fact that it was Obito and, like, his flashbacks and stuff just because of that. You know, and it's their expectations getting in the way. And I'm sure people can turn that around on me and call me a hypocrite because I don't like Naruhito, right? But, like, you know, even if Naruhito were to happen in the series, you know, it's nothing on me. I'm not going to stop reading it or anything. I mean, you know, good thing for Naruto. I hope he's happy. But, like, you know, obviously I don't think that's what's going to happen. But, you know, I'm not going to let my expectations get the better of me. Right now I have really high expectations for Sakura. This is the last time I'm really going to get high hopes for her, because I have had high hopes for her for a very long time, since the start of this war, and I've always been let down because of it. But, you know, this time I'm really hoping that she's in that other dimension, getting ready to kick some major butt, do something really significant in this war arc. And if it doesn't happen, then, you know, I guess that's too bad for me. I'll just have to go with it, because that's what Kishimoto's doing, so.
In terms of expectations on that, for Obito, I was one of the people that really did not want him to be Obito at all. I was fascinated by the idea that just unknown guy was doing all this, that his whole life he's just like, I'm no one, I don't care who you call me, I'm going to do what I want, and you can't stop me. And that fascinated me. Now, when it started looking like he was really turning into Obito, I was thinking, oh no, what's going to happen here? Then the flashback chapter came out, and I didn't care anymore. That one chapter, it really was that good of a chapter. It took me from wanting him to not be Obito at all, to actually hating the idea, to being absolutely fine with it. That one chapter, named Obito Uchiha, with the no dialogue flashback, completely altered my expectations just like that.
Well, I can tell you one thing. It did crash the forum.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't sign in at all. I'm like, what's going on? And from what I heard that it was trending in Twitter so badly. Like, it was like in the top 10. I'm like, wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was a really powerful
together.
I guess you could.
I feel like this whole podcast is almost kind of subtly talking about that chapter instead of the current one.
Well, if you ask me, the current chapter, you know, while I'm excited for the next week one, the current chapter was more of a big setup for the next chapter. Because, you know, you get that first, we got to do this. Give me the ingredients, sir. Okay, right away. And, you know, it's like those setting up, and then you finally got it complete, which is the Kages. So now the real game is next week. Pretty much, this one is pretty much a build-up to the next part. So, yeah, I guess that's why we can't say much in this one. The only thing you could reflect on is, you know, how Orochimaru got his arm back, Sasuke parallel to Naruto in a different ways. You know, that's about it.
Yeah, there wasn't really too much to talk about, like, in my opinion, about the chapter. Like I said, it was bland to me, really bland. Like, what's coming up next will be exciting, but since we don't know what's coming up next, I really don't have too much of an opinion on it. I guess one thing we could talk about is whether or not Sasuke is going to stay on the dark path that he's been on, or if what these Hokages are going to be telling him is going to change his perspective at all. I mean, because I don't know, I kind of got the sense when he was standing on the building that he might actually, you know, go back or maybe change his ideals, you know, go and join the good side. Maybe not join Konoha, but I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying. I don't know. Maybe he's going to be good. Maybe he's not.
That's going to be kind of weird, though, because if he starts to change back now, then whatever happens to the Naruto versus Sasuke fight?
Well, that's the other thing.
I mean, I don't think people should expect Sasuke to be good right now, simply because it has to happen during that fight. It has to be the last fight, because not only is it an ending point for Sasuke, but it is an ending point for Naruto. That's when he's gonna, overcome himself, overcome his insecurities, overcome his fears. That is Naruto's final hurdle. I think it's Sakura's final hurdle as well, to get over him, so to speak.
Yeah, I do think she does need to talk to Sasuke one more time in order to, get out of it. Because a lot of people does need that in order to get out of it. I mean, someone could just say, hey, I changed my feelings, without need to speak to your old crush. But, I can see that happening just for, one last development so she could finally move on instead of being in the loop forever. Oh, he's always bad guy. I could never like another guy without making it look like a pity person. I don't know.
I want to make one comparison in terms of expectations that I keep thinking. I always compare these two series now. Full Metal Alchemist, I haven't read it, and we kind of mentioned it before we did this. Like, I watched the anime version, Brotherhood, and I'm thinking all of my expectations for that were fulfilled for some reason. Every single character that I liked, and every single character was pretty much likable. They all got a moment to shine. And Kishimoto, he's saying, oh, well, all my side characters are going to get a chance to shine too, but it's not coming to the same effect. And it does come into that factor of expectations. And it is baffling, and it is a really good question. I'm still pondering over it myself, but I just wanted to make that comparison, and I think that's pretty a good guide on how to handle side characters, and Kishimoto is branching off a little too much in the opposite direction.
Spoiler alert, Snape skills Sasuke. I hate to ruin it for everybody, but I had to say it.
You said you started reading that? Because I wouldn't like to spoil them.
That's you, Zach.
I was talking to you, Zach.
No, I haven't.
Blooper.
You haven't finished it? Okay. I won't ruin this. I won't ruin it then. It is really, really good, though. Definitely. I'm glad you're reading, watching, whatever you get the chance. It's really great, in my opinion. One of the best I ever read and watched.
Agreed, but just wanted to make that comparison between them really quick because it always comes to mind for some reason when I'm thinking about Naruto and expectations and how things are handled. It just...
Well, Kishi's I don't know, he likes to provide the unexpected results every single time, it feels like.
Mm-hmm. For better or worse.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember, I think one of the interview he did say he did say something about he created too many open paths for a lot of unresolved situations, so he had the tendency to close every single one of them. I guess that's why it's taking so long, because I guess it was a bad habit of him that he needs to. Oh, I gotta close this hole. Oh, who really tripped over that rock? Oh, I found that answer right now for you. Stuff like that. He really gotta answer every single bit. I mean, we did even have the origin of Konoha, or even the little spiral thing that ended up being the Uzumaki clan. Go figure. It's like he really got to answer everything. I don't mind that, but wow, he really take his time to get addressed to every small part. Whoever get the idea of the Hokage mountain? Oh, that was the second Hokage idea. He wanted to have a mountain of his own face. But his brother was it's something like that. It felt like we literally get to every detail of every single origin. Like, I to be honest, I won't be surprised if we do learn who started the idea of having the Hokage mountains. I won't be surprised.
That kind of stuff's fun though, because it makes it easier for the fans to get an idea of what the world that he's created is actually like.
Yeah,
I
do believe he really enjoyed his creation of his own world. I do believe that. You could say it's some part of Rush, yeah, but I don't know. I think he really still enjoyed his work, and I know he's ready. I think he's supposed to be ready to make a new manga, whatever. But I think he said he's gonna take a break after that and then write a new manga, stuff like that. But I mean, people keep saying like, oh, he abandoned Naruto. I'm like, I don't really think so. I think he tried to get this point across or try to get to the real point and detail of the story rather than like focusing on one guy, like, not even relevant to the plot. So why bother,
Mm-hmm.
I was just thinking the other day of what would happen if Kishi made a new manga, and I came to the conclusion that I would actually look forward to it, because the thing is with Naruto is it started out so wonderful, but he slowly dug himself into a kind of hole, and I think with a fresh start like that, it would turn out better, and I would hope so, because I would love to read more of that kind of style of his, because the world, you're right, the world he created with Naruto, it is a wonderful world. So even now, he's still making the world great. The characters, but the world he made is amazing. I have no problems with that.
I agree.
Yeah.
Although I am around-minded a little bit. I remember a long time ago a cartoon called Tiny Toon Adventures. Anybody remember that?
Oh, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when they had the movie? Remember when they had the movie and at the end of the movie they're like, oh, how are we going to get back? And they fall into literally a plot hole?
Oh, yeah. I remember that joke.
A plot hole? Huh, so that's how this movie ends.
There reminds me of that scene in Emperor's New Groove where, like, oh, how did you guys get here? Brock, how did we get here? I don't know. By all means, it doesn't make sense.
I remember that. Like, I remember I was like, yeah, there was so many inside jokes, like, only, like, probably, like, a little bit more of, like, a teenage age could get the idea of the joke, and the kids would just laugh at it because it's just something funny from them, for their eyes. But for, like, when you grow up and we watch, some of the jokes have some, like, jokes that we adults could understand, or teenagers, because it's just how it is. I'm not sure about the right now cartoons this era, but
I feel like an old person now. What about you? Back in my day, my cartoons made sense. And they were funny.
Well, cartoon... I don't think cartoon has to worry about stories that much. No. They could just make every plot hole in the world and they could get away with it.
Alright. Can we move on?
Yeah.
I think we could have kind of butchered this one to death, but... I mean, the next thing I wanted to talk about, and just to go back to Sakura on this one, this is actually just for Slextrem because, well, she is a female. We hope.
Yes.
There's been a big debate on that one on the forum.
Wow.
But Chat, if you remember on the forum, to start this whole analysis about Sakura and everything, and I suggested to her, I says, what if you start looking at Sakura as a woman, not just as a person or a teammate, but something that I myself could not do. I looked at Naruto as he was a person, as a boy, as a man, as a growing up. And, in your opinion, Slex, as a woman, how do you see Sakura? Do you think she's a strong woman? Do you think she could be stronger as a woman? Do you think that she should put her, do you think, I'm trying to use the correct lingo for this one, since I'm having a hard time expressing it, but do you think that her being that woman should play more of a role into it?
Yeah, I think she's a strong woman. Oh gosh, like, I don't know, she inspires me, just because, she, I don't even know how to say this. Just her whole character inspires me. The way that she grew up, being bullied, and having to deal with that insecurity, and just how she came back from that, and I know she fell into the whole popularity thing and became really superficial and all that, but that's something that girls deal with. I mean, that's something I dealt with in high school too. Girls, they go through something where they're being picked on, they feel like they need to meet everyone else's standards, and I feel like that happened to Sakura in part 1. She got bullied, she finally made a friend in Ino, and then she decided, if I to keep my friends or to stay popular, I'm going to have to, meet everyone else's expectations. So she becomes a superficial kind of character that falls for like the popular kid, and she wants his attention and all that. But what I really like about her is that after that, I think it's in the tuning exams, she cuts her hair, and she realizes, I don't have to be that person to be strong or to be liked or anything. I can be my own person. We really see personality come out of her after that point. And, I don't know. She's just a really powerful woman. I don't know. I love her.
She's a great role model.
She is a great role model. And, I would really like to be like her character is. How she came out of that. I feel like I kind of did that too. I'm not quite as determined as she is about some things, but yeah.
High school never ends. I
don't know if that was really the answer you're looking for. I'm not very good at working on the spot.
That's perfect. That's perfect. I mean, it was always something I had trouble doing it because, well, I'm a guy. I don't know what it's like to be a female. I don't know what it's like to go through all that. And I know females, we guys go through our own stuff, right, fellas? Right? We go through our own stuff. We go through, oh, there's a cute girl. We want her attention. Oh, she's popular. We want that attention too. Maybe if I date her, we could be popular. And maybe for females it's something similar, but I don't think it's the same wavelength of thinking, because I think females are a little bit more complex. I don't, because we guys, the misconception is that guys are always so stupid, but we're not. We're just simple. We like simple tastes. We like simple needs.
We're simple-minded.
Yeah.
I think with girls, they worry about absolutely everything about themselves. With guys, it might be like one or two things. Well, I shouldn't say that because I don't really know. But just like, thinking about me personally, in high school, I'd worry about my hair. I'd worry about my makeup. Got to worry about my clothes. Got to make sure everyone thinks I'm cool. Got to have this certain type of personality. Got to make everyone laugh. Got to be liked by everyone. So like we worry about so many different things, and it turns into a big complicated mess. It really does.
Preach, girlfriend, preach. But yeah, I respect females for that. I really do, and I think every guy should respect females for what they also go through, and I think females should respect guys because they go through. I mean, it's different, but they still go through the same things, more or less.
Oh yeah. Like no matter what, at the end of the day, we're all human beings. We all feel the same kind of emotions, and people shouldn't think like just because you're a guy you don't understand. That's not true at all. Like gender really doesn't have anything to do with it,
Yeah.
I'm sure there are guys that have gone through their own, complex problems as well. It's probably not just girls, but just what I've
raising
noticed
my hand right now.
Yeah.
I'm still going through them. I'm 26 years old. I'm still going through life issues.
Yeah. Like we all face our own problems. Girls tend to make mountains out of molehills, I guess, is the best way to say it. This is just like from my perspective or my experience. That's typically what happens is, they see a little problem and it suddenly becomes this like huge thing. But, it doesn't really have to be. Guys might do that too, I don't know.
Life is simple. We make it complicated.
Yeah.
More or less.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Sakura is I'm really proud of her.
Me too.
Like with how far she's come since part 1. And she's still really complex, even though she's, had so much development. I feel like she still feels, I don't want to say unworthy, but she undermines herself a lot, like especially concerning Naruto. She doesn't feel like she does enough for him. She's always trying to find something she can do for him. She's very selfless.
Yeah.
When it comes to her teammates, that's one thing that I really like about her is she doesn't really think too much about herself anymore. It's always about, what can I do for Naruto? What can I do to help him? And saving Sasuke too. She wants to help Sasuke as well. There's always this big concern for the important people in her life, but she doesn't pay as much attention to herself anymore. I think that might be a bit of a flaw for her. She should give herself a little bit more credit than she does. I really do think she looks down on herself too much.
As much as she's grown, she still has flaws, and that is a wonderful character.
I agree.
I still like 573. I was really proud of her in 573 myself. I thought, this is her. That's her right there, you know. Naruto, we're going to be together. I'm going to fight with you, but it's not just me. It's everybody else. And as I said, comparing to Hinata, oh, I'm going to hold your hand. I'm going to walk with you. No, you look at Sakura, and I see someone who deserves the happiness, someone who deserves to get the main character in the end, not Hinata. I mean, I'm sure Hinata's a great character and everything, and not my opinion, but I'm sure she is. I'm very biased about that. I admit it. I admit it. I hate her, but, you know, I'm sure she's a great character, but she's not the character for Naruto. She's not trying to push him to the limit. She's just more like comforting him, and that's not what Naruto needs. Naruto needs that powerful girl to say, you did this. You can do better. I know you can do better. I'm going to push you to do better.
Yeah, exactly. And that's Sakura in a nutshell, more or less. With Hinata, I feel like she's a very selfish character. And I know people are going to be upset at me for saying that, but she is. She only puts her only concern is Naruto all the time, and that comes from her love for him, and it's just selfish how she executes that, I think. You know, like, she doesn't have any concern for Kakashi or Guy when she arrives with the rest of the Alliance. It's just Naruto, you know, and that's bad. You should be paying attention to the other two, like Kakashi and Guy are, like, limping over to you guys because they're so beat up, and all you worry about is Naruto, and he's standing there perfectly fine. Another example, again, is Neji's death. You know, your cousin just died, and all you care about is Naruto's big, warm, strong hand. Like,
you know, imagine if Tsunade, you know, the whole Kage battle was on the same place where Naruto's at, and you see Tsunade in half, you know, split apart, far distance, and then just imagine if it was in the same location, and then Hinata just shows up and say, Naruto, you okay? I'm like, well, you know, your Hokage is dying. You just
that's the sad thing. I could see her doing that. I could totally see her doing that. And what I love about Sakura is that she doesn't put her feelings before everything else. She's very realistic. Yes. You know, she worries about everyone else. She doesn't only focus on, like, oh, I just love Sasuke and that's all, or oh, I just like Naruto now and that's all, or whatever. Like, that's not it at all. With her, she's genuinely concerned about everything else that's going on around her. It's not just about her feelings. And like James said, like, her speech in 573 was just perfect example of her character. It's her personality. She cares much more about walking beside Naruto. It's about fighting with him in this fight with everyone else and making sure that, you know, they win in the end. She wants to support him in what he's doing. And I really love her and admire her for being that kind of a character.
I love her too. Here's my phone number. Call me.
I know. If I may add, just quickly, I think if Sakura was in I don't know, maybe not in a shonen manga, or maybe a different type of shonen manga, like maybe like one of those normal drama ones, or those kind of like Bakuman stuff, she would probably get very high respect in that term, because she's in a fandom manga, and I believe a lot of people want her to fight so much, like fight like more bosses or something like that, which I don't blame them, but you know, I still think character-wise, especially in mentally development, she's really, really great in my opinion. And yeah, she can still do more with the physical combat, but you know, her mentally did help out a lot. And you know, when that time comes for that big battle, hoping to come in this battle that we're in right now, hopefully, maybe, you know, we get some more respect for her, but time will tell for that.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping we see more of her soon. I miss her so much.
Oh, man. Same here.
Me too. She could punch me any day. I don't care.
Oh, my gosh.
Well,
Could you imagine her with like the fox cloak? You know,
It would be amazing.
Just think about how strong she would be with that.
you gotta remember, she punched a summon and knock it out so easily, and it was a big what was it, Caterpillar, something like that? I don't know, centipede. I don't know. It was some big giant bug. She punched it. It's out cold, and it flew a little bit. Like I think it was flying out. So just imagine if get the QB cloak and then do it to Juve. I just picture Juve. That's a Juve. Juve, whatever. The beast. I think he would just fly out to whatever that Kage summon was at, and it would just landed right on it. It's like, oh no, you destroy every samurai soldiers.
He punches it, goes around the world.
Oh man. But hopefully, I'll see her. We'll see her again. I just know we're gonna see her again. I mean, to me, the color spread did help, just healed me a little. That the fact that Kishi really didn't forgot about her, and that's good. I just want to see her fight now. I want to see her do some craziness, some kick butt moment. I don't know, anything. Yeah, because I miss that dynamic.
I want to see her do stuff like how Tsunade was depicted in the anime of doing a few things. If anybody remembers, I don't remember what episode it was. I know it was in part 1, but I think it was the episode where the 3 guys were after the debt money that she owes the
oh yeah.
The clan. And she does this thing where she just taps the ground with her heel, and all of a sudden it's like poof, earthquake. And I was like, I want to see Sakura do that. That's just amazing.
Yeah. It kind of remind me how I think the second chapter or the third chapter of the part 2, like I remember when Sakura was like searching for Kakashi, and then he's like, oh, he's right here, and then he just punched the ground, the whole crater destroyed. Naruto looked really shocked. Kakashi was like, you found me. Like he got that shocked face, like
I had diarrhea.
and the only thing Sakura just says like, I found you, like with that cool face. I'm like, wow, she changed a lot. And then like the Naruto expression, was like, oh, I should be careful more this time around because she would really kill me. But the happy face, that's the exact impression I got with her. The exact same thing. Like I'm so proud of her, so proud of liking her. And then obviously the sorcery fight really made me happy, but yeah. Now I'm just hoping for one more. Well, not one more. Another one.
Yeah, I just want to see her get her confidence back like that too. Like in those moments, what I really liked about them was she was so confident in herself. She's like, I'm gonna deal with you. There's nothing you can do about it. I'm gonna kick your butt. And we've seen her doubt herself so much, and that's kind of a pattern with her. She gets confidence, and then she doubts herself, and then she gains confidence again, and then she doubts herself. And I'd like to see her with that confidence again, and just to keep it this time.
Yeah. I feel that 573 shows that her confidence is back for this battle, and probably might get confused again in the next arc. But that's just like her. But I think her confidence is there at this battle. Hopefully, because 573 does address that. It's like no matter what, that means instead of like, but if you told me to back off, I'll back off. So, ta-ta. She doesn't seem like that. She seemed like I don't care what you said. We, you, me, and your friends is gonna help you. I don't care what you say. We're gonna help you, and that's how it's gonna be. That's I see confidence in there, and that's why I'm hoping when she gets in the battle, she will show that. I'm just waiting. Yeah, I'm a type of guy that's like very patient, but I gotta be honest. He's killing my patience slowly but surely. And sheesh. Oh boy. Any day now, James.
I was just waiting for everyone to finish the thought. That's all.
I think Zach.
I got nothing to add to this one. Everything's been said already.
You don't want to get in trouble.
Pretty
No,
much
I
we're waiting.
don't.
I'm having
No.
women's troubles already. I don't need more.
No, but there's really nothing for me to add to this particular conversation. I love Sakura as a character. I think she got mistreated by the author, whether intentionally or unintentionally, and that's it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, more or less.
We're done.
We're not done yet. We got one more section to go, but
I didn't
how
mean
about we
that.
take
I
a
meant-
break?
Oh,
How about we
okay.
take another break at this one?
All right.
We're not exactly 50 minutes in, but we could take another break. But when we
Yes.
come back, we're going to finish this up. We're going to do our final thoughts, and I got a few questions from the forums themselves for you.
Woohoo.
All right.
Real treat. So stay tuned, fans.
All right.
Same NaruSaku time, same NaruSaku channel. Hi, I'm James S Cassidy, host and team leader of the NaruSaku podcast. If you would like to submit questions to me or the guest of the podcast, please send them to narusakufc@yahoo.com or send them to my PM box on the Heaven and Earth forum. Thank you for listening and enjoy the show.